Alrighty, I'll start with Head Start because I think it's appropriate. They say it's around you different than I usually do. They say that I've even given special treatment. I deny it, but I can't. What you don't seem to understand is I won't just take your hand. I've left signs, but you take no notice. Why is it so hard? Was it so hard? Why is it so hard? I'm giving you Head Start. I know it's God's not easy. Oh, what do you need to see? I'm giving you Head Start. I've more pride than many. This is kind of rare for me. Everyone knows that it's true. You're the only one in the room, but you don't see me, do you? Must be blind, I not to. That's alright. I keep on putting myself on the line. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? I'm giving you Head Start. I know it's God's not easy. Come on, what do you need to see? I'm giving you Head Start. Is there a way to get your attention without looking like a fool? Should I slip it in all conversations the way I love you? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Head Start. I know it's cause I'm easy. Come on, what do you need to see? I'm giving you Head Start. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and listening. I really, really appreciate you spending your evenings with me. I'm actually in upstate New York. I'm back to writing the third album, even though the second album is not out yet. The kind of COVID process is interesting. But I'm going to go through an old one I was playing. It started the last album and it's called Ruins. Oh, do we have to do this again? I'll tell you how I'm feeling. Then you like a cryptomaniac. We'll try and connect the dots and the facts. Oh, do we have to be here? It's these hotels I just can't relax. The more I've been, the worse that I snap. Feel like a goddamn maniac. You sure you wanna do this now? I mean it when I say that I don't understand. And I mean it when I say that I'm not sure where I am. 1 minute I love you, and the next is all the ruins. 1 minute thinking of you, and the next is all the ruins. Tell me, what should I do to deserve somebody like you? It's too hard to tell the truth. Nothing's real, nothing's new. I'm just a product to my emotions, and they're all sad and off again. If it's a mixture or a dosage, and I need just what you'll have. Are you sure you wanna do this now? Oh, are you sure you wanna do this now? When I say that I don't understand, and I mean it when I say that I'm not sure where. For I love you, and next is all the ruins. From thinking of you, and the next is all the ruins. Again, I can't let it out, and I can't let it leave. When I say it, I don't understand. I mean it when I say that I'm not sure where I am. 'Cause 1 minute I love you, and the next is all the
Jade Bird live from our virtual studio in Milwaukee. I'm seeing a couple reactions coming through here, and it's great to see those. Yeah, hit that applause button for Jade and let her know how much you're appreciating this performance tonight. Well, Jade, wonderful to have you here, and just really grateful for your time this evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Nate. Cheers. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
So there is something like it's got to be weird for you this year, and I know it's been such a challenging year for artists. It's like equal parts beautiful and intimate seeing you performing from, I assume, where you're staying right now on the couch. It kind of gives you a window into what it must be like when you're writing songs, but at the same time, it's got to be such a challenge to be confined this year when I'm sure you just want to be on the stage and on tour.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's kind of an interesting one. I feel like because I've been touring since I was like 18 and making music and sort of being on, my own train a little bit, I feel like this year has been really interesting to sort of come back to roots and values and appreciate family and health and just kind of getting to know myself a little bit better. I don't feel like I got that chance. I never, went to college and kind of did the whole like, you know, get trashed or drink loads of alcohol or take drugs. I was kind of, on tour.
Too
So not that
responsible for
I'm
all that,
drinking
right?
and drugging and all the good stuff. I'm more just meditatively getting to know myself now.
Well, we've got some, as you can see, we've got questions rolling here on the chat, and we would love if you got questions, please feel free to drop them there. We also received some questions from our members, and I thought we could do kind of a member takeover here for the interview and get to their questions because they asked some really beautiful ones. I want to start with this one from Mary in Fox Point, who asks, "When you were a kid, who supported your music making, and how?"
Yeah, it was my mum primarily. So my mum and dad divorced when I was 7. We moved from Germany to South Wales, which is quite a small town. There's not very many creative opportunities, almost to the point where I don't feel it's taken very seriously at all. So it was kind of like, small town, big dream kind of thing. But my mum, she was working 12 hours like every day and still kind of forked out to pay for piano lessons and then drove me up to every gig possible until I was 16 and we both moved to London and I went to music school. So it really was like kind of just a small town story. And I would say my mum and grandma primarily, we lived together for quite a bit, like 3 generations in the same house. But they were definitely the biggest supporters.
That's just a beautiful thing to hear that you had that support as a child to
Yeah.
pursue this passion, and you have to wonder like what your life would have looked like if you didn't have that support from your mom.
Absolutely. I think that's why I'm really passionate when I'm playing shows. I really enjoy to meet people afterwards because you can see a lot of kids and especially young women sometimes in these situations. Like I remember I moved to London and I played a blues bar and forever the bar owner who I now love, but he was always like, you play pop. He's Brazilian. He was like, you play pop music. I'm not interested, various kind of things that would I don't think gets said that much when you're a young man. So I feel like it's all the more important to try and be that as an artist for people who don't have that support network at home. Um, that's how I feel about it anyway.
So with this year in the pandemic and being unable to play shows, did you find that helped your creative process or held it back?
It's really hard to say because I think it was quite a unique pandemic experience in the way that I was really, really, really wanting to get this album done because I thought I'd written half of it before last summer, which was all in this lockdown process. And then I flew to Nashville via Mexico because that's what we have to do now to like get into America to work with Dave Cobb. And I literally wrote half of the album coming up in Mexico in that 2 week period. I was just like bang, 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 bang. And then one Open Up the Heavens, which is the recent song in the studio. And so I'm sort of sat here going like, well, if it hadn't have happened, I wouldn't have had half my album there. You know what I mean? If it hadn't have happened that way, I would have just recorded what I had. So it's funny how fate's been aligning this year with certain creative paths, I think.
So this question comes from Cassandra from Milwaukee. She asks, "When you experience writer's block, do you have a certain art or artist that you turn to for comfort and inspiration?"
So it's ever changing. I feel like it because whatever artist you find sparks that in you, and it's not the same every time. So for different kind of I almost said the album title then. Almost, almost. But this album, it
We
was
almost got an
Fleet.
exclusive.
Wow,
All right.
that just flew out. No, for this album, it was Fleetwood Mac. I'd listen to them
Nice.
and I'd be like, "That's how you do it." I remember now. And then before that, it was Sheryl Crow because I'd never listened to her second record properly, and it really just was like, oh wow, why haven't I? And then more recently, it's been a few smaller artists like Lamelda and Skull Crusher and kind of songwriter, American songwriters, female songwriters. I've been really just, it's been sort of getting me like there in my chest. So yeah, it's really ever changing.
I could see when you mentioned Sheryl Crow. Have you ever had a chance to meet or work with her or any of the
Yeah,
artists you
so
mentioned? Yeah.
yeah, I try. We did this kind of thing for like I think it was Americana Fest or something in Nashville, and I was just so scared because I'm not very good at remembering words, and and I had to sing. I think it was a Change Will Do You Good, and I saw it there,
Yes.
and I was like, I'm gonna get it wrong. And she was so sweet. She was so lovely, and she sort of said I'm like a bit of a mini her in a way because I think I literally was at that point. I had long blonde hair and kind of sung similarly. And then I tried to get for the RCA stuff, and it was because of the pandemic, it didn't work out. But I think me and Cheryl are on the horizon. Yeah, we'll see.
Well, fingers crossed. I can't wait to hear that. How cool that would be.
I agree. Yeah.
So this question comes from TJ in Bayside. It turns out that you've got a connection with a beloved group in Milwaukee here, Field Report, and you two you actually toured a little together with Field Report. Is that right?
Yeah, we did. We he was on like I think it was one of the first American runs I did, and he kind of came with his acoustic and kind of supported in a way, which he was just a really lovely guy. And I was telling you earlier, I didn't realize he literally bunked with Bon Iver. Like they were in the same apartment, creating at at a similar time when they were younger before Bon Iver took off. And he was telling us a bit about that, and yeah, he's just a really sweet guy, very genuine guy.
Nice. Well, you mentioned that you're right now you're calling in from upstate New York, and I
Mhm.
understand that you recently transitioned to living in the US. Is that right?
Yeah, so weirdly, I live in Austin, Texas now. So I've left my dog at home with my partner. He's dog dad for a change. But I've been shooting the album cover in the city, which was just an amazing experience. That's why my hair's all cut. So they chopped all my hair off for the album cover, and now I've come upstate, which is like where I've start all of my records to see if there's any, fruits of anything coming up here. So we'll see what happens.
I want to talk about the video for "I Get No Joy."
Hmm.
Just like such a cool video,
Thank
and
you.
it's kind of premised around you driving around. Is it a what kind of car is it?
Is it bad that I don't even remember?
Right. Well, so the question. This is what I got to
I
ask you.
know. It
The
was a
the
fast
video
one.
is so badass, by the way. But
Thank you.
Jeff from or no, Allison from Cudahy. No, I'm sorry. It was Jeff from Menominee Falls says that he absolutely loves the song "I Get No Joy." Did you
Oh.
do your own stunt driving in the video?
Right, so this is a good question. I don't drive. I did never pass my
Okay.
driver's license, but at some point I had to actually get in the car to drive with like sort of cameramen. Oh, there's someone look at my guitar. Here we go. This is my Taylor. But yeah, we had to get in with cameramen. I had to sort of sing and drive this strange gear. And someone else was changing the gears. It was all very strange, but I really enjoyed it. I very enjoyed driving in that moment illegally. It was fun.
I think about that song like so often I can't even tell you like anytime I'm doing anything that like I'll be washing the dishes and I'm just like
Yeah.
I get no
Get no
joy.
joy, man.
But but that and and Head Start you definitely we're playing a lot of your music here on 88.9,
Oh, thank you for that. I really appreciate the support.
and you can hear the excitement here for new music. In fact,
Mhm.
not only do you have a new album coming out later this year, but you mentioned earlier there's a third one in the works.
Yeah, I've got this concept, and I was trying to battle through this concept on the second record. I just didn't write as many songs for that as I did for what's coming up that I almost named. But yeah, so this is sort of me revisiting something I wanted to for a really long time now. So this is all in the works, and I'm just trying to get the songs because that's where it all is. It's all in the songs. So we'll see what happens.
So I guess maybe before getting too far ahead, the album that's coming out this year is
Yeah.
due out in August, correct?
Yeah, we've been pushing it back because I really love playing live, and I feel like live is so important to me. Like I
Mm.
can, we all do social media because that's what we all have to do nowadays, but it's not my bread and butter. So I feel like for me it was like I want to put this record out when I can really have that interaction with people because it's just how I do well and how I get the vision across. So that's why it's always like dragging on, it's not coming yet, it's not coming yet. So
Well, we've got just enough of a taste to get us by until that comes out later this year, but we can't wait to hear that. What's the?
oh.
Can you share the title of the album? Okay.
No, no, I almost said it. I mean, I almost
Oh,
did it. If you
are
go
we
back,
talking?
you can probably
Are we talking about the third album or the second album?
second.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah, I almost slipped on the second. It's a
we
surprise. It's always better as a surprise. Will
we
my
will.
dog be on the cover? She should be. She's a model.
Another question here that came through on the chat. Mary Beth asked, "What was the name of the first song that you ever wrote, and what was the story behind it?"
The first song I really feel that was a song, you know what I mean? Because you write a lot of rubbish when you start. It was a song called When You're Alone, and it was like, all I want to know times three is, do you think of me when you're all alone? And it was somebody I'd lost at that point who'd kind of exited my life, and I was like, I just sort of wanted to know if that was a thought going on there in their brain as it was mine. I was very morose as a kid. I was very sad. I was a very sad kid.
I was gonna say that sounds like that driver's license song that is out now, right?
Oh, really? I mean, maybe I can sue her. Kidding.
All right. Well, Jade Bird, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We do have. I hope you'll play a couple more songs for us. In fact, we were talking before we got started here that you've got a brand new song that you actually just wrote today that you were working out. Is that right?
I finished this one 5 minutes before I was going to Zoom you. And as we've been talking, I've been knowing my commitment that I said I'd play it. And I've been reading the lyrics and thinking, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can remember the melody. So I'm gonna see how ballsy I feel in 5 minutes.
We could work up to it. Totally your call.
Yeah, yeah, or I'll just chicken out.
Well, would you take us away? Do you?
Yeah, of course. I think I'll play I Get No Joy first while I'm ruminating on whether to play it or not. Thanks, Nate. All right. Military march in and out my head. Everything I did, everything I said. Take it to the arch for your happiness. Or spend it like a lark, sing it for nothing. I get no joy. I get no joy. All the words about the sick is seem to get them out my head. Everything because everything is even every day. I get no joy. Together and apart, do it all again. Wrap it to the start, straight up to the end. I'm such a fool, got everything in you. Yeah, my heart is so blue, I'm singing for nothing. I get no joy. I get no joy. All the words I want to say, you see, they get them out my head. Everything because everything you let me get. I get no joy. I swear that I don't pay attention. If I do put intervention, come to me in a dream. Or is that just what the directors and the pills and the defectors would have you believe? Psychotic, hypnotic, erotic, just as you think. But how many days a week do you feel electroconnected, unexpectedly affected? What do you need? What do you need? I get no joy. I get no joy. All the words I want to say, you see, they get them on my head. Because everything is I get no joy. I know the sun will shine another day, another time. I know the sun will shine another day, another time. I know the sun will shine. I know the sun will shine. I touch you connected and it seems to be affecting. What do you need? I get no joy. I get no joy. All the words I want to say, kiss it again, but my head everything because everything is I get no Thank you very much, you guys. All right, I think I'm gonna chicken out and play a new song. This one's called "Open Up the Heavens." What it feels like in the middle of the night. Do you know what it feels like? Don't stop all the time. I'm stressing out complete rage. You know I feel right and wanna reach you. So it's raining. Before you try, 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 before you Thank you so much. That was
Jade
like a big
Bird,
one.
live here in our virtual studio in Milwaukee. Wow, such an intimate and cool performance. Thank you so much for spending your evening here. I know I could speak for all of our members and for the Milwaukee community. We can't wait to welcome you to our city when we can finally do that again. And I think we're all in that time where we're just looking ahead and trying to find things to look forward to. And I want to close out with just one more question here from Becky in Milwaukee. She asked, "What do you look forward to in your future for your music, looking ahead
Oh,
to this year?"
I mean, that's a really great question. I think for me personally, it's going to be exploring concepts. I think, I really love like artists that go into like big albums, like either Radiohead, OK Computer, or St. Vincent, like her fourth record. I adore artists that can really get stuck into a concept album. So, I feel like with the album shoot, like I did, we went pretty like abstract, and that's got me really excited to kind of go forward and try and almost do the same in a way, be a bit more ambitious and kind of artistic, I guess. So yeah.
Oh, we cannot wait to hear more of a concept album from Jade Bird. Maybe that's that mysterious third album, or maybe that's the second album. We'll never know. But there
Yeah,
is some music coming out yet this year. Again, August for the new album, at least. Fingers crossed. That's the plan for now, right?
yeah, absolutely, Nate. Yeah.
Well, we can't wait, and we thank you again on behalf of all of our members who made this session possible. Thank you for your time tonight, and we can't wait to have you back in Milwaukee.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Folks,